Today, let's look at some examples of when it's time to break up with your parents. For those of you who follow me, you know I talk a lot about being emotionally smothered by a parent, emotionally taken over, which is emotional incest. It doesn't involve physical touching. It's simply when a parent wants to take over a child, so to speak, because they're unhappy. They want a companion. They're not finding one as an adult. They're not willing to work on their marriage, perhaps, so they zoom in on one of their children. Well, as this child gets older, he or she is able to sort this through, hopefully, and perhaps by late teens, definitely into one's 20s, we can begin connecting all these dots and realizing I'm a victim of abuse. A parent has stripped me of my identity and I am paying a price for that. It's a covert abuse. It's very hidden. And in the title, I said break up with your parents, but it could be parent. But parents may apply a bit more because even though one is doing the emotional smothering, if it's a two-parent household, where's the other parent? Why didn't they observe what's going on and step in and save you? Why didn't they stand up on some level to the perpetrator? Are they blind? Did they not see what was going on? Are they that uninvolved? So sometimes it's breaking up with parents because the one who stands back and observes is equally as guilty as the one doing the perpetrating. Or it could be a parent if you were raised in a single parent household. By breaking up, it depends on whatever you want to do about it. It can range anywhere from complete no contact, and a lot of people do that, all the way down to ongoing contact perhaps, but with a lot of boundaries, with a lot of open discussions about what happened, a lot of talking about how things are going to change. This is not appropriate or allowed anymore. These type of comments will not fly with me anymore. So breaking up can be whatever you want it to be, but it's putting you first. You're in control, you're in the driver's seat. You find the boundaries that work for you, and then you implement them with the toxic parents. But when I say break up, it's not necessarily that it's going to happen right at that moment. If it does, that's fine too. It's more about noticing a pattern, connecting the dots. So let's look at some examples of a young adult beginning to realize it's time to break up with my parent. This is really unhealthy. It's very toxic. Let me get out of here. I'll start by an example of my own. I began to realize it was time to break up with my parent when my mother wanted to move to California with me from the Midwest when I was 22 years old. So I moved thousands of miles away to get away from her. She follows me about a year later, moves all the way out to the West Coast, and in my confusion and trying to figure this out, I let it happen. However, within about 60 days, she was hightailing it back to the Midwest. I wasn't sure why exactly. I just knew it was very inappropriate. It needed to end. I needed to break up with her. I was no longer willing to tolerate being her little mini husband anymore. The reason I say I was confused, and most children in this type of scenario are confused as well, is because for years you're the special child, you're the golden child. You're put up on a pedestal, so to speak, and so when a parent is paying you a lot of attention, you kind of think it's good at first. You're not able to understand the depth of the damage that can happen from this type of relationship. So for you teenage girls out there, if your father is bringing you out, special evening at the theater perhaps, is he introducing you in a way that people think you're his girlfriend? He's treating you that way and people are assuming this and he's letting them assume it. It's time to break up. Let's say you're in your early 20s and a parent is angry, jealous of you because you just spent the night with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Of course, they can't admit as to why, but they can't control you, possess you the way they're used to doing so. You're actually showing interest in somebody else. You're spending the night and they are pissed off, maybe give you the silent treatment for a couple weeks or so, then it's time to break up. If you're seeing somebody seriously and you get married and either your mother or your father is not willing to meet your husband or wife, they're not friendly to them, they won't come over. Why would you let that continue? Because now you may have a family of your own. Do you really want a grandparent around your kids like that? Somebody even now when you're married and starting your own family still tries to relate to you like you're theirs, they own you? Don't let it happen. If you're a teenage girl and your father's bringing you out clothes shopping, telling you to try on some bikinis in front of him, helping you look at lingerie, or a mother taking her teenage son out wanting to stand next to the dressing room door, almost coming in, being way too involved in what you want to buy as the child, what your tastes are. The parent is trying to be controlling about this. We can see the unhealthy boundaries here, right? They're trying different ways to get in there. Now, specifically in regards to what clothing you want to try on and purchase, it's time to break up. If you're a teenage girl and you have a birthday coming up, and then on your birthday you open a gift from your father and it's the book, The Joy of Sex, that's not appropriate. There's a lot of hidden meanings, of hidden messages that go along with that. It's grooming somebody in a way. It's planting seeds in their mind. When you notice anything along that line, time to go. If you're a son or daughter and one of your parents, the perpetrating parent, is following you around in terms of watching every bodily development as you turn into an adolescent, as you go through puberty, what's up with that, right? The mother's commenting to her son, oh, look at how muscular you're getting. The father comments to the daughter, look how you're filling out that bra now that you're 16. These comments are inappropriate and not conducive to helping a child find their own identity, grow up, find their wings, and leave the nest. These comments are about over-enmeshment, about being seductive, planting grooming ideas within the child, breaking all sorts of healthy boundaries, giving kids that icky feeling, and so on. Anything along this line, it's time to break up. I had a client where he reported that when he was 14 or 15, his mom wanted him to start calling her by her first name. What's up with that? He's a kid. He's calling his mom, Mom. Something very odd about that kind of request. If you get a bit older, you're connecting the dots. You can see a pattern here of breaking down healthy boundaries. Time to break up. If you're a son and your mother's talking to you as you're growing up about the kind of sex she enjoys, as you get older, son, those lips you have, you're going to be able to perform great oral sex on your girlfriend someday. If you're a daughter and your father's always standing outside your bedroom door as you're getting dressed, trying to talk to you, trying to act like he's just having a normal conversation with you, or outside the bathroom door, what's up with that? Give you some space, right? Just leave me alone, right? I'm sure that's some of the thoughts inside. Of course, kids are not able to verbalize this because they're walking on eggshells around these offending parents. They're feeling like I better not upset the apple cart. Maybe the parent is just being nice, right? I'm not quite sure. There's some confusion around this, but with those examples I just gave, time to break up. If you're the son or daughter and a parent is discouraging you from doing things that are healthy for your age appropriate, let's say you're 17. Of course you want to go out and hang out with your friends. Of course you want to go to the prom. Of course you want to be with your buddies on the weekend. Maybe you're starting to date. Of course you want to go out and date with somebody you have a crush on. These are normal developmental stages that need to happen. If it's being thwarted by a parent, they're discouraging it and encouraging you to stay home and take care of me. I don't feel so good tonight. I need someone to talk to tonight. I've had a bad day. Can you just stay home and be with me? So if they're manipulating you in this way, gaslighting you perhaps, trying to control what you do, giving you suggestions that obviously are not going to help you grow up, but instead keep you enmeshed at home, it's time to break up. So these are just a few examples that I'm thinking of right now. Maybe now you're age 30 and just beginning to figure this out. You finally begin to connect the dots. You can see the agenda that was going on. You can see how it negatively impacted their life. You can see the narcissism that came out of them, out of the offending parent, in order to take you over. They wanted to satisfy and please their own needs. They didn't care about your development. And then also the other parent, if it's a two-parent household, who stood by and let it happen. So maybe you're age 30 figuring out now, well, now it's time to break up perhaps. So this is more about connecting the dots, putting the pieces together where you can begin to realize I need to have a healthy boundary with this parent. So please leave me some comments below. Let me know if you have any more examples about how you've connected the dots in your life. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like these kind of mental health videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.